Welcome everybody to the Wake Up Call channel. Apple just revealed what they're calling Apple Intelligence. And is it a coincidence the same people who sold their very first computer for $666.66, which we're of course supposed to believe is a coincidence because Steve Wozniak told us that they picked 666 because they liked recurring numbers. And of course, we've seen what Apple has become over the last couple of decades or so. They use Apple as the brand to get people comfortable with all of this new technology, which isn't just invading their privacy, but it's also connecting the realms of the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And Apple Intelligence is doing just that. So first, we need to look at the logo for Apple Intelligence. Then I'll get into the mark of the beast and the technology that Apple is beginning once again to market to people little by little. They just continue to get closer and closer to getting into your body and underneath your skin with these vital apps and these apps that all these big corporations keep releasing where they're telling you it's to benefit your health. So they're telling you, hey, we can monitor, how many little gas bubbles you have in your stomach today. Oh, great. Great. And then we'll alert you if something seems off and you can go to the doctor's office. And people just continue to get comfortable with the tech and don't realize that they're conditioning them into getting this stuff inside of their body. So Apple Intelligence, let's start with the obvious, right? It might not look obvious to you, but look at that logo right there, that symbol. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, it's another symbol I've covered in the past. That's the heptagram. The heptagram. What is the heptagram, you might ask? The heptagram is a 7-pointed star, most commonly used by Aleister Crowley and Thelema. In Aleister Crowley's Thelema, the symbol is referred to as the seal of Babylon, the mother of abominations. You can see exactly that these are two of the same symbols. Of course, they get cutesy with it, and they curve the corners of the heptagram just in case anybody out there is paying attention so that they could twist it and say that it's not exactly the same thing. But those of you who know how the occult operate, this is exactly what it is, the heptagram. And what is the heptagram, again, used for in the occult? Well, the heptagram is a symbol which is supposedly supposed to be a bridge of a realm between worlds. So a bridge or a realm between worlds. And what do we see going on? The mixing of what? Man and machine, the spiritual realm and the physical realm. We are in the physical realm, and if you're not paying attention, all the stuff they're trying to do with the quote-unquote digital realm is really the spiritual realm. They are trying to merge the two, and they are trying to bring over things that are on the other side, and that's where artificial intelligence comes into play as vessels for the things they are summoning. Now, the heptagram is also a symbol that is used in the Kabbalah, because it's a symbol that's used in black magic and sorcery. And if we know that the symbol is named the mother of abominations and it's the seal of Babylon, then we know exactly what Aleister Crowley is referring to in his book of the Thoth, where he is written in his book, quote, "She rides astride the beast. In her left hand she holds the reins, representing the passion which unites them. In her right, she holds aloft the cup, the holy grail aflame with love and death. In this cup are mingled the elements of the sacrament of the Aeon." So they're referencing the great mother of abominations, right? In the book of Revelation. That's what this symbol means to the occult and Aleister Crowley. And we know how this ties into corporations who conveniently want us to believe when they sell a computer for $666 that there's nothing spiritual attached to that it's a random number. Just like their Apple Intelligence, where they're starting to tell you, okay, Apple is now going to start comforting their audience and conditioning their audience to accept artificial intelligence, which I just did a video about, warning people about what they're trying to do with artificial intelligence. Getting laws passed on artificial intelligence means that we have to accept artificial intelligence in our reality as something that exists. And we do not need that, nor do we want that. And they're putting their foot on the pedal, and they're using Hollywood actors to, pretend like they're against AI so that laws and regulations can be in place. Thus, we have to accept artificial intelligence as a part of our reality instead of saying, hey, let's scrap the whole thing. This serves no purpose to humanity. You're talking about human beings losing jobs. You're talking about eventually AI killing off humanity. These are things they're talking about on 60 Minutes. So how about we just go, hey, let's get rid of artificial intelligence. We don't need it as human beings. But of course, they keep you distracted constantly and entertained with artificial intelligence. So people go, well, the pros and the cons. They could kill us one day, but I could watch a 30-second deep fake on YouTube trending of Keanu Reeves cooking in his kitchen in a thong. So we might as well keep artificial intelligence, right? That's the dumbed down reality that we're living in. So when Aleister Crowley is obviously referencing here the Whore of Babylon, let me read to you from the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verses 3 through 6. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So people need to start understanding what artificial intelligence is and how this is going to serve as a vessel. Nobody thinks much, right, about AI. Let's just look at it from that perspective. People just go, oh yeah, what is this thing, this chat GPT? They think it's just some type of what? Somebody's typing in a computer code. I've shown you the video clips of Gordy Rose, quantum computing, and how these people are openly talking about these little chips as demons, summoning spirits. It's too much for people to wrap their heads around. So they just go, I don't know what it is, but I like it. Give me my phone, right? I don't know what it is. I can't grasp what's going on. I can't grasp how I can watch television on my phone while I'm sitting on the toilet. I can't grasp any of this stuff. I guess they're just smarter than I am. It's the same stuff I tell you about CERN. They want you to think that this is some high-tech technology that you can't grasp. But what they're doing here and this is the fallen one's technology. That's what we're dealing with here, right? Artificial intelligence isn't something that some guy in a basement came up with. They've been trying to normalize this so that they can use artificial intelligence in our reality. And how are they normalizing it? Companies like Apple. So they start off by entertaining you with this stuff and telling you that it's fun and, oh, it can help you do something faster. Oh, it can help you write a paper. Oh, you could write a book. Oh, okay. You keep accepting it. They start passing laws to protect it. They start making it a crime to go against it. And the next thing you know, artificial intelligence exists in our reality because of corporations who are trying to normalize it, like Apple. Now, at the same time as I'm showing you the logo for Apple Intelligence, this is the other thing that's concerning. They come out and they tell you all this new technology that Apple's releasing. Everybody sits there, they drool, right? They're like, what's new for my iPhone this year? And they come out and they say, well, we have this new thing, Apple Watch Vitals app. Now, some of you will be like, well, they already do a lot of that stuff. It's not new tech. But they continually add things little by little to the technology, right? They take a little, you give them a mile, right? They take an inch, you give them a mile. Because what's happened is they started this tech out where it was just like, all right, we're going to monitor your steps, right? People are like, whoa, what? Yeah, we'll get you a little bracelet here. We'll track how many steps you take. And then you can figure out, how many calories you're burning. And then you can lose some weight. So people go, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. That might inspire me to exercise because I could track it and monitor. It's almost like a game, right? Oh, okay. Then little by little, what do we see the Apple Watch start to do? Oh, now it's monitoring your sleep patterns. And people are like, that's a cool feature that they added. And then every single year they start adding things to eventually it's like, it's your doctor. It's inside of you. The tech is in your skin, or under your skin, I should say. And it'll tell you when you have, rapid heartbeat, etc. Because, we all know a lot of people out there are going to be getting more and more AFib, right? Because of something they've put in their body. So don't worry, it'll alert your watch, or it'll alert your doctor. In the future, it'll automatically call your doctor, or it'll automatically set off an alarm. And I'm sure they'll show up at your front door, with Big Brother and take care of you. But overnight vitals, these are little things that they're starting to show you, right? Now we're at a point where if you take a look at all the stuff that they're starting to track, right? They're tracking things like your temperature was higher than usual and your sleep. This could be due to many factors, including illness or alcohol consumption. And then they flat out start telling you stuff like this, right? Apple Watch allows users to measure important health metrics during sleep, heart rate, respiratory rate, wrist temperature, sleep duration, and blood oxygen, right? So think about that. Now we're at a point where it was just monitoring your foot, how many steps you took. That's how it started. Monitor your steps so you can figure out how many calories you burn. Now we're looking at blood and oxygen levels, right? So it says when 2 or more metrics are out of their typical range, users can receive a notification along with a message detailing how the changes in these specific metrics may be linked to other aspects of their life, such as elevation changes, alcohol consumption, and even illness. And it'll start alerting you if it thinks that you're going to start getting sick based on these metrics. Now, the common person hears this stuff because, again, remember, think about how much of a narcissistic society we have created, right? Where people are obsessed with their health. Now, there's nothing wrong with caring about your health, but people are obsessed with their health, right? They're obsessed with their health. And I get it. Why would anybody want to get sick? Okay, but people are obsessed. There's a difference between caring about your health, monitoring your health, and being obsessed with your health. So this is what causes people to be obsessed with their health. They start monitoring their own sleep patterns. I mean, think about telling somebody this 200 years ago, monitoring your sleep patterns, right? I mean, they'd be like, what? What is the point? I'm good. The good Lord will take me if he's going to take me. But this type of technology begins to condition you more and more to having a computer inside your body. That's what I'm getting at. To having a computer inside you. Now, if you say that to somebody, they'll say you're crazy. They'll be like, they're going to put a computer in my body. Now, we already know they have the ability to do this with the chips that they have. They can do this, and they're already doing it in some cases, right? We know people have already put nanotech inside their body. We know they're spraying nanotech on us. We know what's in the dust and the chemtrails, et cetera, that they're blowing on us 24/7. We know they're putting it in the food. But this type of technology is to condition people, and what I believe will eventually be tied into the mark of the beast. All of this stuff that's underneath your skin, right? Your blockchain, right? Your currency, all these things will be biometrically embedded inside your genetic code. But this is what gets people on board with it because, like I said, in the beginning when they were monitoring your steps, people were like, that's great, that's cool. And then they just continually started to do more and more and more because every year people wanted more. They're like, whoa, what if we can do this now? Oh, okay, they already can do it. It's about comforting and conditioning you into accepting it. If they came out of nowhere with a phone, for going from just a cell phone, then to saying, hey, this cell phone could track your heartbeat. What? Yeah, it could track your heartbeat. It could track, how many bowel movements you have inside your body before they even come out. People are like, whoa, I'm not interested in that. So what they've done is they just do this. This is how conditioning works, right? The steps. Your sleep pattern. Ooh, how many times, are you having any irregular heartbeats, right? And then every single year it gets to a point where people go, wow, this technology is really benefiting my health, right? Convincing them that way. I've talked about this with the Neuralink. Convincing people into allowing and accepting brain chips, this type of dangerous technology where people don't realize that they can actually control your mind and your thoughts with this. It's really a form of telepathy, a form of witchcraft. And people go, well, this guy's got Parkinson's, so it's going to help him. This guy's paraplegic, so it's going to help him. They're duping you with this stuff. First, it's that way, how do they get you to accept the technology? And then after a couple of years, they say, hey, regular people could have the Neuralink, and they'll think faster, they'll be less depressed, they'll have more energy during the day. And everyone will go, ooh, okay, sign me up, because we've already seen other people have it, and they haven't turned into, burst into flames and turned into Lucifer and flown around with wings, so I guess it's safe. And that's all they need. They desensitize them to the tech. So Apple with Vitals, this is another app now that's going to track even more things, right? Like some of the stuff they were showing screenshots of, overnight vitals, 2 outliers, right? So say, for example, if you have an irregular heartbeat in your sleep, this is going to monitor it. Now, 99.9% of people will be like, well, that's great. It could end up saving my life. But that's the point. That's what they're working you into, is accepting this tech and then having this tech in you so that you could monitor the inside of your body under your skin around the clock. And they'll tell you that it's for your benefit. Oh, you could save your life. You could have an irregular heartbeat. This thing will alert you. You can go to the hospital in the morning, even though I'm sure everything is fine. And then okay, thank God for my technology. Thank God for my tech. That's what you hear people screaming. Thank God for this tech. It's saving lives. It's making things better. And it's also mixing iron and clay, mixing man and machine. So Apple Intelligence, right? Like I said earlier, $666.66, $666, the first Apple. I tell people that all the time. It's a great talking point. If you're going to try to explain, there's so many different avenues to explain of what's going on, right? If you're going to get somebody If you want to talk to them about transhumanism, the mark of the beast, those types of things, and you believe, it's going in the direction that I'm talking about it going in, and just say you come across a stranger, you start talking to them, or a friend, right, about technology. Bring up Apple. Bring up the apple being the forbidden fruit. That's what it's referencing. You don't have to you want to have a debate if it's the apple was the actual fruit. We're not interested. Not on this channel, okay? That's what Apple's referencing. They're saying that the apple was the forbidden fruit, which is why we always see the apple with the bite mark in it, right? From teachers to celebrities doing it, okay? That's what they're referencing, the forbidden fruit, the forbidden knowledge they believe they have. So Apple with the bite mark, right? You can start there. Then talk about the $666.66, right? It's all in front of us. Signs and symbols rule the world, right? And that symbol right there for Apple Intelligence, which is now going to have Apple start integrating artificial intelligence as a normal thing in people's lives, like they did with Siri. They continue to go down this road. They're the ones really who are getting people on board the most. Apple, because everybody looks at Apple as a trusted brand. Oh, Apple's the coolest. They're the cool hip brand, right? The $666 brand. It's unbelievable how obvious it is. They picked the heptagram by design. Like I said, it's the mother of abominations, the seal of Babylon. Okay? It goes back to Aleister Crowley, and it's a bridge of a realm between worlds, right? Think about that. That's what the heptagram means. A bridge of a realm between worlds. The spiritual realm and the physical realm. The spiritual realm is being, manipulated as this digital realm. People don't realize what's actually occurring. This is the fallen one's technology that we're seeing normalized right in front of our faces. So the mother of abominations tied in with Apple. Shouldn't be surprised, but it's pretty incredible that nobody sees it. Signs and symbols, again, rule the world. They show us the stuff. Nobody thinks anything of it. They think somebody at Apple came up with this bizarre, they just squiggled on a pad here. And this is the logo they chose at Apple to roll out. It's always right in front of our faces. Universal law. It's always being revealed to us. It's just a matter of whether or not people see it. And then when they do see it, if they see a video like this, if they're willing to accept the truth. Because a lot of people aren't. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.